Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie and I'm back with another video. This is beautiful Kailua Kona, Hawaii. I'm just gonna show you around a little bit. Isn't that pretty? This is where I'm staying for a couple of days. My daughter's friend actually sits for this place and offered it to them, and because my daughter is still recovering from the birth of my grandchild, they said, "Mom, why don't you go hang out there, take a couple days off?" Not that helping them has been any kind of struggle or in any way difficult. It's been freaking fantastic. But anyway, I'm here to do a little reply to Green Eyed Tarot with the hashtag deep dive decks. And this isn't going to be like a long or exhaustive thing. It's honestly just going to be the decks that I brought with me, in part because I'm in this beautiful, let's see if I can get the ocean better. Yeah, this beautiful spot here, which is nice and quiet. And so it'll be easy to, and cool. God bless them. It's cool to do a little video. So hang on a second. All right, so here I am in the little condo in Kailua Kona. And this morning, what am I wondering I should appear? One of the YouTubers that I kind of go back and forth with a little bit had mentioned me in her video. And her video, Green Eye Tarot, is the deep dive decks. And I feel like that should be a hashtag already too, but I mean, when I followed the hashtag, I didn't see anything. It seems to me like other people have had this conversation, but be it as it may, I only have 3 decks with me. I mean, I got a little oracle deck in my purse. So let's look at the 3 decks that I have. And the reason I brought 2 of these with me, well, the reason I brought one with me is because it's always in my purse. The reason I brought 2 of these with me is because I thought it would be interesting to kind of compare and contrast them. So we're going to do like a little deep dive right here. And I don't know, I may have to like move the camera because I feel like it will be a little more impactful if it's face down, but I don't know how I'm going to face down it because, like I said, I'm in this little condo, right? So the decks, I have with me the Legend of Sleepy Hollow Tarot, which is mass market. It's a Shiver Red Feather, comes in a 2-part box. It's got a nice little book to it, which has card meanings according to the story. It talks a little bit about the artist, Nick Lawyer, who had an affinity for Halloween with his family, and they used to tell the story of Sleepy Hollow every year, or read the story. So this is not the movie, it's not Christina Ricci and Johnny Depp. It is the story from the 17th century about a man who goes to a town in New England to solve a crime, right? So it's a fun deck. I feel like it has really pretty nice cardstock for a mass market deck. Nice and bendy, easily shuffleable, kind of cool backs with this kind of metal imprint in it, and really nice matte cardstock. This is done in the style of the RWS, but with renderings from the story. I'm kind of shaky, I'm full of so that's the 10 of Wands, I believe, with the or it might be, yeah, I believe it's the 10 of Wands. I'm a little shaky from caffeine, so I'm just drinking coffee all morning. Minutemen. Okay, so this is a good one. So it's RWS, obviously, but with connections to the story of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is the one with the headless horseman. So the other one that I brought was the Curious Travels deck, which is also mass market now. However, this one is the indie production, which I got from the creator's website. I tend to like the cardstock better on indie decks, and I do really love this cardstock. This one is in some semblance of an order because I want to go through this deck and look at things that are very different from RWS. So even though this is kind of made to be RWS conversant, is that how you'd say that? I'm not sure. It also has a lot of artwork that kind of goes its own way. Many of the courts are quite different. And you get some symbolism that just isn't there in RWS. So I thought it would be interesting to look at those two decks compared to each other. And how we can have RWS decks that are RWS, but they're different, right? The third deck that I have with me that I do believe deserves a deep dive from anyone who is at all interested is a deck that I have all the time with me, and that is Nellie's deck. And Nellie's deck is, I think it's on Make Playing Cards. I'll try and look it up. And this is done by Kelly Fitzgerald, and she did pen and ink drawings. And it is a combination of tarot, Lenormand, cartomancy, and just plain playing cards. So I usually have this deck, well, I always have it in my purse, but I usually keep it kind of separate. The trumps have these keys on them, so it's very easy to separate them. Or you can shuffle them together. And I play solitaire constantly with this. The small size of this deck is really comfortable in the hands. And I like to play one-handed solitaire, which is a game where you take your cards and you pull 4 of them. Okay, so if this suit matches, you take out the middle 2. So for instance, if it had come out like this, I would take out these 2 and then keep going. Or if these 2 had been kings of different suits, you take out all 4. And the object of the game is you're supposed to end up with no cards. So I play solitaire with it all the time. But I also like to just use the trumps as a majors only deck. So instead of the devil, she has the monster. And if you're familiar with Kelly Fitzgerald from The Truth and Story, she was a literature major, I believe, when she went to college. And she loves the movie Frankenstein. So that is kind of a take back to that. Also, this is a wonderful deck for readings by the sea, because the story that layers onto this, if you read the guidebook that goes to it, is about a female lighthouse keeper. So it is actually an ocean deck. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and figure out a setup where I can go top down, so we can look at both the Legend of Sleepy Hollow and the Curious Travels deck and see kind of in real time a little deeper into these images. Thank you. Okay, in front of me, I just want to point this out because I just saw this guy doing this. It's written into the treaty with the Hawaiian people that the people should always have access to the ocean. So, and the reason for that is so that they can always be fed. This guy out here is about to fish in a way that is very cool. He's going to take that net and throw it out. What he's looking for is when a school of fish comes closer. He's going to throw that net out onto the reef and catch a bunch of fish to eat. Let's see if we can catch him doing it. He won't go until he sees a good amount of fish come in. And if you were here, you'd be able to see. I can see because I know how to look. When the fish come in, you just kind of look inside the wave. There's some people talking next door. Anyway. I don't think we're going to be able to see him do it. Okay, we're going? We're going. When I'm like stopping and starting, I forget if I'm stopped or I'm started. And I have in the past done whole large recordings of my feet. Okay, so how did I do this? All right, so I've got the Legend of Sleepy Hollow separated into the majors and the minors. And then this Curious Traveler, I think I separated it into, yes I did, okay. Cards that I thought pretty much went with the feeling of RWS. Here, let's see. How are we going to do this? Okay, hang on. Okay. So the High Priestess, secretive, mysterious, under the moon, between the two pillars, and with the pomegranate, correct? And then the High Priestess in the Sleepy Hollow is this this witch who is dancing under the light of the moon, which is kind of cool. Perhaps not as quiet as I thought. All right. This Emperor. Now, although he's a little different, he's still an emperor, right? He's got our Aries symbology in the ram skull on top of him. He's got the mountains to the back of him and the sturdy chair. Okay. And then in Sleepy Hollow, we've got the Emperor, who is this is the father of the female lead, I believe, who is what's his name? Hang on. Okay, Baltus Van Tassel. What a name! So he's the father of the female lead, and yeah, perfect. He's a baron, a landowner. So that would be who you would expect to see, right? The Hierophant in Curious Traveler. Now this is a little different, but still it's a Hierophant. We've got two pillars again. We've got two people below this person with like a triple crown, and it's an owl, not a pope figure, but she is holding up her hand, kind of reminiscent of that this here papal blessing thing that they do. And of course, this is the in the Sleepy Hollow, this is you know, the priest or the pastor. This isn't a Catholic one, and they are so dangerous. Anyway, yeah. Here we have the Lovers, which is not exactly traditional. Neither is this one entirely traditional, but it does have that wonderful like connection between the two elephants, and then this all-seeing eye, which kind of takes the place of the little angel shooting at him. And then we have Ichabod and the young Van Tassel girl, who in the movie is played by Christina Ricci. Here we've got the Chariot, which is missing some symbology. There's no, anyway, but it's got the two horses of two different colors, and we got a little guy up there, we're gonna assume, who's the charioteer, right? And here we've got two horses of two different colors, and we have a guy rowing rows. Okay, so here's Strength, which is the big, beautiful, this is the cover of the mass market box. Really nice, with the girl in the flowers. Interesting nod back to RWS with the lay of flowers around his mane. And Strength in the Sleepy Hollow is actually like a hunter with a wolf, which is interesting. It's kind of interesting because, I mean, wolves end up being kind of domesticated dogs, right? So then we have the Hermit, which, although super beautiful, is very kind of RWS, is very hermity, right? There's the star and the lamp. Gorgeous artwork, love it. And then here, this is like a ghostly figure cruising through the woods. I really love that. Wheel of Fortune. It looks like a compass, kind of. But we're looking at, it looks like Aquarius, Mercury, and then I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why it's like that, but there you go. Maybe in your mass market deck, you can look in a book and see if they have any description of that. In the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, it is a spinning wheel, which is perfect. Okay, we're gonna go with death next. Very deathy. It's a little devilly too, but you know, nothing that we don't get. Here you have the headless horseman, who of course was the cause of all the murdering. Here we have temperance, which is, this is the cover of the indie box, and little guy with angel wings, a little crown. I'm not sure why that's happening, with his feet off, 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water, and he's walking along a path. So that works. Here we have one of the housemaids pouring something from one gold pitcher into a, I guess, lead cup. Here's the devil. Got a couple people in chains, another kind of ghastly skull. But I mean, that's very devilish. And here we have the devil. Loved this devil, actually. It's like a Pan character, right? The little bit of red material wrapped around him. How did I blow this? Okay, the moon. Here you have the two towers. We got the moon. We got the crab coming up from below, and here you have a werewolf, because the Legend of Sleepy Hollow is a scary story. I didn't know there was a werewolf in it, but hey, maybe there is. Here's the sun. Just an all-around kind of beautiful sunnyscape with flowers growing. A person, it looks like a woman on a white horse. And here we have just the horse. This has been torn apart a little bit as far as imagery goes, but it's fine to me. Here again we have the all-seeing eye up here. It does look, in answer to Giselle, it does kind of look very Egyptian. And here we have the people rising up. This is interesting though. In Sleepy Hollow, you have what looks like probably a witch trial happening. Talk about judgment. Okay, here's the world. You've got the four major, what do they call them? The like four main astrological symbols. This one's Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. And then here in the world, you have an actual globe, okay? So on this side is Curious Travels, and these are cards that I feel they very much go along with the RWS meanings, right? Okay. So, okay, this is gonna be tricky because, hang on. Okay, I think I got it. I think this will work fine. Okay, so here we have the Five of Wands, and here's the Five of Wands. Interesting, yeah. So this looks very RWS. This one, on the other hand, looks like these guys are coming to get this woman out of her house. Ooh, yeah. Kind of a tragedy that happened. Okay, here's the Nine of Wands. And again, this is vigilance under adversity. A lot of these wands are very kind of woodsy, like kind of scary woods, like trees that are, and in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the wands are wood. Like in every card, it's something to do with wood. So very interesting situation there. What do we have next? Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm following the cards that I chose from Curious Traveler that I thought were pretty in line with the meanings. So that's why I'm jumping all over the place here. So this is Ace of Swords. I mean, you got your crown, you got the clouds, and the hand coming out of nowhere with the sword. And here we've got the sword with the headless horseman uses a pumpkin as his head, kind of, I guess, sort of. I don't know. Okay, here we have the Three of Swords. Super RWS. We've got the Four of Swords. Again, resting from the battle, right? Here's the Seven. And the Seven here, this is interesting because it looks a little like the Six because you're looking at a boat, right? But that's got the number 7 on it, so it is the 7. Just for reference, here's the 6. The 6 is somebody in a wagon leaving town. So the 7, little odd there because that might be, and in fact, I have gotten this in a reading and thought it was the 6. So if that's the way you feel when you're reading, you might just read it as the 6. So here we have the Eight of Swords. A situation not impossible to get out of. Here's our 8 in Sleepy Hollow. 9 of Swords, the Nightmare. 10 of Swords, Death of the Ego. Here's the Page of Swords. Now in Curious Travels, I feel like where I really noticed the difference right away was the court cards, but this one is pretty Page of Swords. This guy is not young, but he is standing and he is holding a sword. Here's the Knight of Swords. There's our headless horseman. It's the Knight of Swords. Perfect. In this deck, what else could it be? Okay, so we're gonna jump up to the Ace of Cups. I really particularly love this Ace of Cups because it's a cup of poison, right? It's got to be a cup of poison. Here's the Three of Cups. We even have our pumpkins. This is a little unusual because it's in the pub, but still. Here is the Six of Cups. And there we have some guys sitting there drinking. Here's the 7. 7. Trying to make a decision. Here's the 8. We're done. We're leaving. Here she is trying to decide. Here's the 10 of Cups. And there they are, kind of walking along the garden there. It's nice. Here we are jumping to the Ace of Pentacles. This is interesting. So there you have like a pirate fella who is holding up 1 coin. So that would read a little differently, wouldn't it? 2 of Pentacles, and here's another one that's very different. But I mean, it works. It works. Here's the 4 of Pentacles. Little guy kind of balancing out. This is interesting because it's the guy going over accounts, which in the end, the whole mystery is solved because it has to do with money. It's America. America. Okay, 6 of Pentacles. It's kind of a give and take situation, and there they're giving away pumpkins. All the pentacles in Sleepy Hollow, except for the one I'm going to show you next, have pumpkins, I think. Here's the 8 of Pentacles, a girl walking along. Oh no, this one is 8 of Pentacles, a guy doing a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns. That's cool. Here's the 10. I really like this 10 in Sleepy Hollow. I got this. I have this up on my Instagram at one point, and this feels like waiting to begin a feast, right? And then here we have the elephants again. That's nice. Here you've got the Page of Pentacles. Just really stellar artwork, really pretty. And the page here, he's standing there admiring his work. Knight of Pentacles. I'm so happy I have this. The slow-moving knight on the field. And here we have the knight, and there's the headless horseman, but he's not speeding away as he is usually. So hang on just a second. All right, so again, we're following the Curious Travels in cards that I pulled out for a particular reason, right? So this one is kind of different, right? We don't have the as above, so below thing. There's this piece which makes you kind of think about the Three of Pentacles and this wand. So we do have the wand, the cup, the pentacle, and of course the air sign will be the sword, right? Here is the Sleepy Hollow card. Looks like a shaman doing the RWS type thing. Okay, so here is, I thought this was very interesting, the star. Yeah, look at her. The star is actually covering her face. She's got two receptacles there, but it looks to me like she has 4 arms and that there is something coming down from the heavens. She has her feet in the water, although she's sitting on the rock. And here's our 7 stars. Very interesting. So is this star suffocating her? Is it actually keeping her from seeing because she's gazing through the star? This is also kind of an interesting star, right? Because it's dark, it's a little spookier, it's not quite as hopeful, but it is pretty RWS. All right, here we've got the Two of Wands. I thought this was just an unusual take on the Two of Wands because usually you have someone kind of standing there making plans, and she seems to be on a swing. Look at this here. Something is holding her down from actually swinging. I think that's very interesting. And here, this is a more closer to RWS, although it's a little witch looking into a crystal ball, holding a broom as she stands up here. Here we have the Seven of Wands, and again, I'm thinking about Giselle's walkthrough and how she was thinking, you know, what is happening here. But if you go close in here, you will see that this orangutan actually has a mask on top of its head, which I found incredibly interesting. Okay, we're going to try and put it back kind of where it was, hopefully. Okay, and then this Seven of Wands, also interesting because what are we doing? We're defending ourselves. We're on high ground defending ourselves, but they are in the forest, deep in the forest. And this had to be the person who ends up being the murderer is the stepmother, right? She's the one who had control of the spoiler alert, control of the headless horseman because she was sneaky, or it could be her sister who was a witch who was inside the woods, but still very interesting for the Seven of Wands. You know why? I don't know. So, and then here is the Two of Cups. Okay, let me get all the way through here. Oops, I didn't have this done exactly. Okay, Two of Cups. So here we have A little more Two of Cupsy, a little more RWS. This is Ichabod and the female romantic lead, right? And the Van Housen girl or whatever her name is, and they're having a cup of tea together. Whereas this one, goodness gracious, talk about two snakes intertwined. This kind of fire going on between the tails. Very, very interesting for the Two of Cups. It's just an unusual take. Here we've got the Nine of Cups, which I thought was very different, right? It's almost like this person is stuck behind the flow of these cups. They're sitting on a bench, and the water is almost erasing the person. Which, if you're looking at the suit of emotion and the number 9, this is the expert, right? The strong person emotionally, but is this person being erased by their strong emotions? Maybe so. Here, this is Ichabod trying to pick out a cup, it looks like. Again, interesting for the wish card. And of course, Giselle pointed this one out. This is the Three of Pentacles. I thought was interesting too, that in an earth card, it's very watery. But a pod of whales does work together. They do get things done. So it is kind of, it works. It works if you put your brain to it. And then the Three of Pentacles still has a pumpkin, but 3 lanterns lighting up, maybe going off to find the Headless Horseman. Okay, hang on. Okay, so let's start looking at these court cards. Trying to get this to... All right, Page of Wands. All right, what? So he's sitting on this gnarled tree in kind of a place where the wands are wrapping around him. What's that in his hand? He looks like almost, oh, it's a, what do they call them? It starts with a C. The lizards, the fire lizards. Okay. And then here we have a more typical Rider-Waite-Smith, the guy standing with a wand in his hand, okay? Here is, okay, I have these set up as looking at the pages first. Here's the Page of Cups. Now we still have the fish coming out of the question mark. But she looks very sure of herself. She seems to be in the water in front of the sun. And here we have Ichabod reading his book. Ichabod's good for the impossible page because he's trying to solve something that seems impossible to solve, right? Here's the Knight of Cups, all right? Weird. It's weird. Curious travels. Not all the courts, but many of the courts are quite strange. So this here, to me, looks like a skull. Can you see it? Looks like fish all over him. Even his hands look quite ghoulish. And he's dumping water out. So it's kind of an active card, but he is sitting. Here we have the Knight of Cups. I believe this is the boyfriend, right? The guy who's jealous of Ichabod. You got at least he's on a horse. You got the Queen of Cups. Look at this. What's going on here? What is happening? Her, I'm sorry, Queen of Pentacles. Her throne is a tree. She's got fruit around her, a little bit of animal energy. What's this here? Is this a bunny? Should be a bunny, right? Or maybe a lamb? Not sure. Okay, where's my Queen of Pentacles? And this one. And this, I want to say this is a stepmother. It's got to be a stepmother, right? Because she acted like a great, the best wife. Here's our Queen of Cups. All fish in front of the ocean. Fish head, fish tail, but not fish hands. Looks almost like she's wearing a robe of stuff you would find in the sea, maybe? Treasures or trash even? Could be. Queen of Cups, let me find her. This one is great. Queen of Cups is the little witchy lady. Drink this cup of yummy stuff. Come on now, come on. It's good, delicious. Come drink. Okay, here we have the Queen of Wands. And, you know, it's got to be the witchy lady. But look at this. Got your black cat. The head is the sun. There she is with the twisty tree. And then, of course, you got your witchy lady on the broomstick. Here's the Queen of Swords. And she almost doesn't even have a face. She's surrounded by butterflies. Sitting on the throne. Where's my Queen of Swords? This is interesting. This could have been the witchy sister, right? The one in the woods. Giving him the spell that will reveal the truth. Here we have the King of Wands. This is very interesting to me. He's got a flame for a head. Interestingly enough, the Sleepy Hollow one is the Headless Horseman. It's no head. So they're kind of inferring both these guys are men of action without being thoughtful. Also, he's holding two supplicants. Why? And he's in kind of rags. Why? I don't necessarily understand that, but hey, it is very different. It's a different way of looking at these archetypes, right? Here we have the King of Pentacles. Similar to the Queen, he's in the tree with the gnarled trees. No face. The leaves where his eyes would be. And again, kind of wearing rags. King of Pentacles here is, I think this is Van Towson again. Because he was a farmer. That's how he made his money. The whole thing was about owning land, right? King of Cups, and we're back in the ocean again. And what to me is a perfect King of Cups, a bartender. He is the King of Cups. He decides whether you get another drink. You better act straight or we're cutting you off, right? King of Swords, like the Queen. The sword is like covering up his face. He has no face. There's the moon there. What's up with that? What's happening here? I don't necessarily understand why these things were done, but hey, we read what we've got. And there is the King of Swords trying to figure things out in the middle of the night, writing and thinking, right? As our King of Swords would. Got an Ace of Wands. Why did I pick this? I forget. I just thought it was unusual. It's not RWSy, right? It's not the big stick. It's much more subtle and gentle. It has a little earthiness here with the hand and the sun coming up in the back. Still firing. This is super witchy. Gotta love it. Okay. Hang on a second. So these are the ones I picked out, I think, because I felt like they gave just a different perspective on the card. The Sleepy Hollow Tarot, of course, this is Ichabod Crane, tall and skinny and walking into something he has no idea what's going to happen. And here in Curious Travelers, we have a little monkey that's hanging from a tree, holding something either into or pulling out of this alligator's mouth. And talk about a different perspective on the Fool, like doing something foolish, daring to do something just crazy for what seems like a very small reward. I mean, maybe to him it's a big reward, but I don't know. The Empress here, beautiful artwork. And here's I think this is the Fantassel mother, maybe somebody's mother. And there's the cat, kind of foreshadowing that she's actually a bad guy. But she's got her pomegranate. She's got her stars. The stars are actually covering her eyes, where usually they're a crown, right? She's got her wheat. She's got the world behind her. She's what looks to be pregnant. Interesting. Very interesting. Justice. Walking the thin line. And here, Justice is the hanging tree. Yikes. Okay. The Hanged Man. But this is kind of a different way of looking at it. He is definitely stuck, possibly going to get eaten by this big snake, right? So if you don't like snakes, this might not be the deck for you. And then here is Hanged Man is a scarecrow in a farming community. It's interesting. Thought this was kind of an interesting take on the tower because we have fire rather than the water they usually see. There's only one guy falling, and the crown here, where in Marseille the crown is usually on the top, the lightning is striking it, breaking it. This is like, again, like I say, a different perspective. Here we have like a spooky church as the tower. Okay, I can work with that. Ghosts coming out of the top of it. No fire at all. That's fine. The Three of Wands. Interesting. So this is little more RWS, but not necessarily, because it looks like a Mohawk Indian surveying the situation, deciding what he's going to do. Here, these wands are coming out of a hand-like thing. This is like a little girl with a hat on. Just very, very different. Very, very different. The Four of Wands here. This is a beautiful card. The metal wings. I bet in the mass market it's really pretty with the metallic stamping. It's actually gold ink. It's just not as shiny as the mass market. And then here, this is a little more RWS-y. However, it's definitely a bunch of witches dancing under the moon, right? For which they get in trouble, of course. See the Judgment card. But this is different. That's different for the Four of Wands. Okay, Six of Wands. And again, it's has to do with these spiky trees that are in a lot of the Wands cards. But there's the people giving accolades. Here's the Mohawk Indian coming back with the scalp. Everybody's super happy for him, I'm sure. And the horse, but nobody's riding the horse. So who's the winner in there? Interesting. The Eight of Wands. And I see where they were going with this. The birds in the air, the girl racing forward, and there's the more RWS, Sleepy Hollow. the staffs, or what are those called? Why is it when the camera's going we can't think? I don't know. Okay, so Curious Travelers, 10 of Wands. Very interesting. These horned animals, a lot of times they lose their horns, but first the horns grow really big, and they use these horns to fight with, right? So I imagine it is very heavy on their head, and if they get tangled up in something, it can mean death, right? The animal can die because it can't get the big horns loose. And here we have a bunch of trees that are being cut down, which, that's reality, right? Here is the Knight of Wands. Again, just a horse, no rider. And here's the more typical one from Sleepy Hollow, guy and a horse. Here is the Four of Cups, which I thought was interesting. Look at him doing that thing that your mom tells you not to do. Don't do that to my chairs. Why? Because it's going to break the chair. It'll loosen it up, mess it up. Here's the Four of Cups from Sleepy Hollow. But he is indeed, his hat is tilted in such a way where he does not see that cup coming in. And he's kind of being a little flippant, right? And this is kind of a little Eight of Cupsy. He's walking out the door, leaving that beer on the table, alcohol abuse. Okay, here we have the Five of Cups. Okay, so we're looking at those three fallen cups. We're not paying attention to the two full cups. But what's happening up here? Is this a crown, a bridge? What is going on? And it's in the air. It's not even really over the water. So I'm not sure exactly how you're supposed to work that out. And then here, this is a little more typical, right? Just sad, bummed out because some of the cups are gone, even though a couple of them are full. Huh. All right, here we have the Two of Swords. Oh, wait, it's this one. And the reason I chose this, because why are we having Ghost Cow in the Two of Swords? I'm not sure. Perhaps having to do with a blindfold? I don't know. I'm really... Is it a magical creature, maybe? I'm not sure what's going on his forehead. Can you tell there? Hard to say. It's maybe just a tuft of white hair. But interesting. And then this is a little closer, not exactly RWS, because they're battling, right? Here's the 5 of Swords. Again, interesting perspective. He is wounded, or a mummy. Not sure. There's a battle has happened in the background, obviously. And here we have Sleepy Hollow. The 6 of Swords, which I showed you a little bit earlier. Oops. Sleepy Hollow. And here we have the 6 of Swords. I actually really like this. This is like harkening back to Norse magic. And the shamans cover their eyes when they're going on a journey. So this woman is journeying. Very cool. And then, of course, somebody leaving town. Here is the 5 of Pentacles and Curious Travelers. One of the pentacles is the moon. Interesting. We got people reaching down to try and help, but his pentacle is broken. It's all he can think about is his broken pentacles. This one looks a little more RWS. We got the church window and the broken people outside of it. Here we have the 7 of Pentacles, and we're coming to the end. Oh, this is sleepy. I keep doing this now because I'm coming to the end here. Very interesting. This big, bright flowers growing in this tiny little guy. And then in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, you got that actually kind of reminds me of Deviant Moon. And then finally, this great 9 of Pentacles, which I think is very interesting because she's covered. She's actually wearing the pentacles. She's wearing the garden, which could kind of go to how when you have worked and attained all these things, it can be kind of heavy, can weigh on you, right? And there, of course, is the beautiful young heroine in the Garden of Pentacles from Sleepy Hollow. And that, my friends, is it. That's the end of my little deep dive moment. And thank you for coming.